Thank you Evolve ETFs for sponsoring this video. With over $7 billion in assets under management, Evolve is one of Canada's fastest growing ETF providers since launching its first ETF in September 2017. Evolve specializes in bringing innovative ETFs to Canadian investors. That said, one of their ETFs that they offer is a Bitcoin ETF. Now, before I get into the details of their Bitcoin ETF, I'm first going to explain what an ETF is for those who aren't sure. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. It's basically pooled money from investors to buy certain securities like stocks and bonds. ETFs can be in certain sectors like technology or healthcare, or even in specific countries or regions. It all depends on what the product is about. Now, in this particular case with Evolve ETF's Bitcoin ETF, they're pooling investors' money to buy actual Bitcoin and then issue shares for those Bitcoin that is purchased and held. Now that you understand more of what an ETF is and what their Bitcoin ETF is about, here are a couple of reasons why you'd want to purchase their Bitcoin ETF. The first would be tax-free or tax-deferred gains, assuming that the ETF was bought in a registered account like a TFSA or a RRSP. Instead of a 50% capital gains tax in the year of disposition, the gain is all tax-free or deferred. The second would be convenience, because someone's managing the Bitcoins for you. This may be good if you're someone who doesn't want to be bothered with learning how to secure and manage the coins yourself, but you would still like some exposure to Bitcoin. Now, to find out more information about their Bitcoin ETF, they have a dedicated page about it, which I'll leave in the video description. On their page, I'm just going to go over a few things. The first is that they have two options, an unhedged and hedged ETF, both of which are listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Unhedged means that you're also taking on currency fluctuation risk, whereas hedged means that you don't want to take on currency fluctuation risk. By taking on currency fluctuation risk, this can both work for and also against you. The second is that this ETF's current market price is $20.43. However, their net asset value per share, or NAV for short, is $20 and roughly 15 cents. This means that they're selling at a bit of a premium. If the market price were lower than the net asset value, then the ETF would be selling at a discount. Now, the last thing is, if we scroll down a little bit and we look over here, we can see that their management fee is 0.75% plus applicable taxes, which I think is reasonable. This is essentially the fee that you would be paying yearly indirectly through the shares price for Evolve ETFs to manage this fund. This means that for every $1,000 of their Bitcoin ETF that you have, it'll cost you $7.50 plus tax in fees per year. Now, in case you were wondering who's securing the Bitcoins, we can find this out by going back to the top and clicking on FAQ, and when we do, it'll bring us to this summary page over here. And if we scroll down all the way to number 9, it tells you who the Bitcoin is being held by, and you can see that it's being held by Gemini Trust Company. So that's pretty much Evolve ETF's Bitcoin ETF in a nutshell. I think that Evolve ETF's Bitcoin ETF may be good for you if you're someone who isn't looking to actively trade Bitcoin and plan on holding it for the longer term and are looking for potential tax-free or tax-deferred gains. Now, if you're interested in buying some shares, you can do so easily through any brokerage account like RBC Direct Investing, Scotia iTrade, TD Webroker, and etc. It's the same process as buying a stock or a share of a company. Lastly, if you have any other questions about Bitcoin and would like to learn more about it, Evolve ETFs has put out this Bitcoin FAQ page that you can check out for yourself. I'll leave a link to it in the video description as well. Hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.